Hey guys, this is the final part of the rankings, and I just want to say thanks to everyone that's been watching them over the past few days, and this will be our seventh and final part of this chapter. Alright, now these are my 9 favorites so far, and number 9 is Deadpool vs. Carnage. Now, this is a crossover that everyone has actually wanted to see at some point, seeing a murderer go up against another murderer. It doesn't just see Deadpool and Carnage going against each other, we also see the return of a few familiar faces, being Shriek, who is, well, Carnage's girlfriend, and also the symbiotes from the Life Foundation, so Lasher, Phage, Riot, and Agony as well. That the banter that goes between the Muck with the Mouth and the Son of Venom is quite funny as well, as we see two unhinged characters going against each other in a fight to the death. Well, I say to the death, but it would have been death for them. Number 8. Venom, Lethal Protector. This had to be one of my favorite Venom storylines. I mean, I've always wanted to read this one to see where the Life Foundation came from and where the symbiotes of it came from as well. As we see the arrival of several new symbiotes, well, new for the time, and would eventually go on to become fairly famous as well. Being the new symbiotes as Scream, Lasher, Phage, Riot, and Agony, but also we see another team up between Venom and Spider-Man, which is always interesting to see. But also we see how Venom was forced to give birth to them. Number 7. Flashpoint. Now the Flashpoint was basically put onto the small screen in Flash Season 3, Episode 1. Where Barry managed to stop the Reverse Flash from killing his mother in the Season 2 finale. Doing that changed the whole timeline, and they kept to the source material, but they did stray from it a little bit. I mean, well, they kind of had to with this. I mean, in the storyline, Flash has managed to stop Reverse Flash from killing his mother, but Wonder Woman and Aquaman are at war with each other. The Batman is Thomas Wayne, not Bruce Wayne. And Clark Kent, or Superman, never actually crash landed in Kansas. He destroyed Metropolis when he crashed on Earth. Number 6. Dark Knight's Metals, Dark Knight's Rising. This is by far one of the darkest storylines I've ever read, as it has several different origins of all the different Batmen from across the multiverse. Being from the Batman Who Laughs, Red Death, Devastator, Drowned, and so on. But each origin basically does show how one Batman broke into being more dangerous than thought possible. As we have so much creative artwork, so much experienced dialogue as well. Sophisticated artwork, intelligently written, and it obviously brings out the darkest parts of different Batman from the multiverse. Number 5. DC Universe Rebirth, Flash, Volume 1, Lightning Strikes Twice. Now, ever since I knew of Godspeed, I've always wanted to try and find the storyline that he is a part of. And, as luck would have it, this storyline not only introduces Godspeed and his alter ego August Hart, but it also gives us a new chapter of Barry's life, which includes a new love interest and also a ghost from his past. But I've got to say, it's great seeing Barry as a mentor, not only to Wally West, but also to a few others who were struck by lightning in a Speed Force storm. His best friend August Hart being one of them. Number 4. Death of Wolverine. Wolverine is definitely my favourite Marvel hero, but when he died in 2017's Logan, I definitely wanted to curl up in a ball and cry. I cried, I just didn't curl up in a ball. But this storyline basically gives you all that you could want from the final act of Wolverine, as we see him making amends with those he's hurt, seeing old faces, coming to terms with what he's become, even taking revenge on those who deserve it. But ultimately, we get to see the different lives he's lived, what he's done with his life, and how he's managed to survive as long as he has, not only because of his healing factor, but also because of his emotional state. Logan may have used this as source material, but it did stray a little far from how he died. But it was actually foretold in 2013's Wolverine anyway. Number 3. New 52 Batman Volume 3, Death of the Family. This is one of the darkest storylines I've ever seen Joker in, as we see him commit one of his most insane acts as well. As Joker has done some really crazy stuff in his life, but this is by far one of his worst. As usual, he's toying with Batman and captures him and the entire Bat family for a psychotic dinner, but this Joker has cut his face off, trying to prove that no matter who wears masks, and also to prove to Batman that even though he wears a mask, Joker is still Joker underneath his skin. But no, it's not that that gets me. It's more the fact that his mask is decaying, it's rotting, and he's wearing it as a mask. That is sick and awesome all at the same time. But definitely one of Joker's best moments. One of Joker's best storylines as well. Number 2. Batman Hush. Now this is by far one of the best storylines, not only a Batman storyline, but storylines in general that I have read. I think the animated movie that was expanded from this did very well, but it did take out some key points in it as well. The fact that it didn't really acknowledge the true identity of Hush and went with Riddler, but also how little it got on what really happened in the storyline and in the past. But overall, we definitely see one of the biggest ghosts from Bruce Wayne's past come back to haunt him. And see if he can make amends with what he's done, and see if this ghost is dangerous or not. And number 1 is Blackest Night. First time I read this, I was completely hooked. I absolutely love this one. It's basically DC's version of Marvel's Zombies. I mean, seeing the Black Lantern Corps finally rise and spreading the dead. Plus, it's awesome just to see all your favorite undead superheroes, like Zombie Batman as well. Plus, I think it was a good idea to give some of the more living heroes a different power ring and see how they can handle being a lantern. Plus, it's really fun to see how each of them becomes a White Lantern as well to defeat Necron, the leader of the Black Lantern Corps. But I have to say, this is by far the biggest worth reading. I have to say, I highly recommend it completely. Alright guys, that's it for the rankings. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe and comment what you think down below. And we'll be back to doing origin stories tomorrow. See you guys.